connection this time. So I hit the stream button. Light is green. The trap is clean right now. So, if anybody sees this, let me know. There you go. Beetle says Twitch is up, so that's good. YouTube should be up now. I had to restart the whole internet to make sure everything's going. I should just do that before every show.
The whole internet?
Like my whole internet.
Restarted the entire internet.
We started everything.
Oh, oops. Let me get it. Because no, go back to that. There we go. Now we're on the real live.
All right. Now I did the Facebook shares.
There we go. All right. So by the way, this time, since it's just the two of us, so we won't do a game show this time. But instead, I have an idea for when it's just the two of us. Shit, Chris has an idea.
When it's just the two of us, we get crap. It's going bleeping all over again.
Yeah.
What the heck? I don't know why it's doing that. But anyways, try and get what's it called? Or we'll do like a listener feedback kind of section where I got some questions.
Oh yes, I saw your post on that.
Yeah. So the only other thing I could think about doing is restarting OBS, which I probably should have done when I restarted the internet. Try this again. This time I'm not even going to bother sharing it on Facebook. It's too hard now.
Yeah.
Besides, groups are going to start getting mad at me. Fuck you! Why are you blinking?
Twitch is live. Simon announces the animation collection. Oh no, it's gone.
Yeah, I managed to set everything up so I could swap in, like I could show the news bits.
Oh, see, that's cool.
Yeah, but it says it's dropping like 70% of the frames is what I'm seeing.
All right.
Is it
so? I sense a new computer in Chris's future.
I don't even know if it's that. Who knows at this point?
We're gonna set you up with a Ryzen 9 5950X and
no, but it can't even, like, my CPU usage is fine.
And we'll set you up with an RTX 3070, which this kind of aggravates me. Just all of the specs or all of the testing that Linus Tech Tips does on the stuff. They're like, yeah, the 3070, which is the quote unquote dog shit version of the graphics cards that they put out, is completely, like, not completely, but it's like percentages above the RTX 2080 Ti
Yeah.
for half the price.
Yeah, it's stabilizing a little bit. Like the
All right, we're stable.
drop frames is dropping down. I don't know. I think it's going to be one of those waves kind of things where, like, as soon as I start talking, maybe I just need to stop looking at it. Maybe that's the problem.
That's what
Because
it's a watch spot. Yeah.
I look over it, it's
As soon
like,
as you look
okay,
up.
everything's fine. And then I look away, or I start to look at it, and it goes red.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Welcome
knows.
to episode 162, Stop Motion.
Beetle said it kind of white, like watching a slideshow. Beetle says the 3070 makes my 1080 look like trash now.
Oh, yeah. It also looks down at my 2080 Super and laughs at it.
That you just bought.
That I just bought.
Man, do you want to know what I have in that computer? I'd have to go back in my Amazon searches.
You still have a disk drive in that computer.
I do have a disk drive in that computer.
Which I mean
that was because Ashley had it, so
Yeah.
it was like,
well, I mean that case you went with me so I didn't get murdered to go get.
yeah.
It's getting a disk drive as well. Because I mean, just like, why not, guys?
Yeah.
No cases are being made.
Hey, you know
with-
what's always weird? Go
What is
through
it?
your go through your Amazon search or your Amazon order history from like 10 years ago. Yeah, I have a Sapphire AMD Radeon HD 6870.
Ooh, that's
I have a 1 gigabyte. It's a 1 gigabyte GDDR5. Damn it! The
Yeah.
return window closed on February 26, 2012.
Oh.
Aw.
Yeah, but we got to get you. See if you're gonna up. There we go.
Maybe
Push
it's
a
just
lot of
my
buttons at once.
internet. We might have to just postpone a night or something.
Go into your well, we can't do it tomorrow night.
Mm.
You
Maybe this weekend sometime. Are you busy?
go into your router settings and prioritize your computer under the QoS.
I gotta figure that out because it's the new Amazon thingy.
I did that at work and it would piss people off. Not well, back when I was running the subway, like I prioritized my laptop and my phone. Everything else could only access like 2% of the available bandwidth. All right, everybody, that's been our show. We hope you enjoyed watching us.
I was a big loser.
It's time for Boards and Sorts, the quickie version.
Do you? Yes. Do you? Yes. You're married.
Oh gosh, yeah, I'd have to do a bunch of digging down into the settings, and then it'd probably
no
have to
response to that.
restart.
Are you kidding?
I'm a champion. What? What?
What? Yeah.
Maybe there's like different All right, I'll have to mess with that later. The news things happened.
That's right.
Oh, then that's like most of the stuff.
Stuff happened. Board games. Jokes. Good night.
Yeah. I like just.
Beatles are our new script writer.
This is great.
We just need to make sure to stitch all these clips together. That way it I don't know, we've got about 10 minutes of video so far.
I mean, yeah, something like that. I'm just kind of like, I want to start the show, but I'm afraid everything's going to die again. Uh-oh. Philip, you there?
I'm still here.
Okay,
Sorry,
you
I was
stopped
waiting for you.
talking and
Oh,
suddenly
I know.
like
You know how I get. Like,
I get it.
notification came up on my phone, and it was like, "Hey, pretty girl."
All right, we can try this. Let's see how far we get.
All right.
All right, you still got a good connection to the soundboard? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we will try this again in 3, 2, 1. Thanks to everyone who supported us over at patreon.com/boards and swords. Check it out if you want additional content like pre-show and post-show clips. Live-ish from Swordplay Studios. It's an attempt at Boards and Swords.
Yay!
Oh, so I got to do like a little hum so that you hear the music. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Boards and Swords. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Chris Renshaw, and with me, as always, is my partner in crime, Mr. Philip Herbig.
Hey, what? Hey, how's it going? Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm being an ass. Hey, how's it going, everybody?
And this is the podcast where we attempt to have fun talking about board games with bad jokes, good folks, and hopefully we can get some games in there somewhere. So it's been a nightmare just trying to get started. Spent the past 30 minutes just trying to get a decent internet connection going. I'm gonna blame the internet. I'm gonna blame Atlantic Broadband for that.
That's why we gotta get like the pedal internet. The faster you pedal, the better it is.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'll be super slim then.
Exactly. No, you're just gonna have like gigantic calves.
I just walk around like I have to walk with my legs like straddled. It looks like I ride a horse just because
Yes.
that's how far my legs have to be. So how are you doing?
I can't complain too much. My wallet is gonna yell at me so bad in the next 48 hours.
Maybe it'll yell at you some more after I go through the news.
Maybe it will. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Gonna have a wedding. Gonna have a hanging.
That was
Either way, we're gonna have a good time.
that was a segue for you to hit a button. You know what's great?
Horrible segue.
I said it's gonna be hurting after the news. That's the time for you to hit the news button.
Oh man.
You know what's
Even on
great
this
is when I edit this afterwards, I have a filter that filters out silence, and it makes it makes all these things flow so much better. Like the jokes, there's not as much pause.
Filters out the sound of silence.
Yeah, the sound is. Hey, those of you that are not watching this live or on the video afterwards, you're gonna miss out on. Bam! Look, we got like news bits here. I could like show up on screen now. These are the things you miss.
What is this nonsense?
Yeah, I know, right? No, wait, where's my... Okay, there we go. No joke for this one because I couldn't think of anything. But everyone's loving this like 3 Kickstarter in 1 thing. So
I saw another creator that we both know post about that. Yeah.
Yeah, the Simon announces the Animation Collection Kickstarter. It's going to have Scooby-Doo, the board game, the Teen Titans Go Mayhem, and Looney Tunes Mayhem. So those last 2 are It sounds like they're going to be very similar games, just with one's Teen Titans and one's Looney Tunes.
But can we get like real Teen Titans?
Hey, I've heard actually Teen Titans Go is really good. Like-
I don't want to like.
What I heard, like it's really meta kind of thing. Like I've heard Teen Titans
Oh yeah,
go to
I've
the movies.
seen a bunch of stuff of like they're regularly breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. There was like, in fact, there was one episode where they like did a multiverse thing and they met the Teen Titans, the proper Teen Titans.
Prime.
Yeah. And there was like a crossover episode with them kind of thing. It was back when like everybody was doing like crossovers between multiverses.
Oh,
So
yeah, of
yeah.
course.
This is Simon's next big Kickstarter. I don't remember if they said when it airs, but it's all gonna have pre-painted minis, so that's cool. Like
Hey,
you'll have your
pre-paint.
Teen Titans. You can have some Looney Tunes. Like I can see Bugs. You can see Daffy, Taz,
Can we get the
Elmer
tiny
Fudd. That's the expansion. That'll be a stretch goal.
Okay. Yes, I would 100% back tiny.
Hey Philip, what happens when a boxer hits your fuse box? He knocks your lights out. Kapow! The joke there was that the next game we have is Kapow, the superpowered buildable dice game. It's got a dice building feature where you add or remove faces to modify your hero and villain. Right
Oh,
now
okay.
it is at 62,000 out of its 50,000 goal. 783 backers. 15 days to go, at least at the time of recording. Looks like it's got like a 2 big box thing. There's something where it talks about like depending on how you build your dice, you can make like your hero or make it more of like a villain. So yeah, choose your side, grab your dice, and get ready to roll. So looks pretty cool. The artwork definitely reminds me of more of like a 90s style, which isn't exactly up my alley, but I know people could be.
I was catching that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the buildable dice thing is nothing new. Like, what was it? Dice Throne, I think, did that. So
Beetle says company called Mod Cubes. maybe
yeah,
might
I
have
think
got
there's been a
buildable
couple
dice.
people that have done this. So there you go. Kapow. Looks like a pretty sweet. It comes with a lot of stuff and it's already funded. So if that's interesting to you at all, check the show notes. It'll be in there. Next up, if you put blood on eBay, does that make you a vampire?
Got him! Got him!
So, Renegade Studios is going to be publishing the World of Darkness RPGs now, such as Vampire the Masquerade and Werewolf the Apocalypse. So they had just put out, what was it, 2016, 2018, I think was when the 5th edition Vampire the Masquerade came out. And they were it was published by White Wolf it was created by White Wolf and distributed by Modifius originally. But now I believe, I don't know where the White Wolf piece stands in all of this because it's really kind of confusing, but basically what happened is the White Wolf team flubbed it up so badly, like not doing proper content creation at all. Like to understand fully how this works, you have to understand that in the vampire universe, they describe the act of drinking of blood like it's like a sexual euphoria. Okay.
Okay.
Like when a vampire drinks the blood. But then one of the playtest characters they had was a vampire who was hooked on biting children. And so it's like, okay, so this guy's basically a pedophile.
Yeah, can we not?
Yeah, so it was like who comes up with this? And there was a lot of iffy kind of stuff in there. They ended up having to do a revision to the core rulebook to add in like some safety tools and this kind of like, hey, this kind of game might attract people that are actually evil. Make sure you're not actually evil and it's just a game kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it was just a lot of missteps where it's like in this day and age, it's like stuff that's like, okay, you can't just advertise to like the neckbeards, you know. You need to like make things more accessible to other people too.
Yeah.
That might be a little bit more sensitive on some of these matters. So from what I understood, and I don't understand a lot, it seems like White Wolf is owned by a company called Paradox Interactive or Paradox Entertainment. I think they just gutted the White Wolf team and basically just got rid of everybody. And like, we're gonna do this we're gonna do this ourselves.
Yeah.
Which is funny because like White Wolf is who made the game originally, like way back in the V1, but it's been a bunch of like handed off back and forth between different people. But regardless, so now the Paradox team is going to be working on it, and then Renegade is now bought the license to it to do the publishing piece, which it understandable because they just made that whole it was Vampire the Masquerade Rivals. I talked about it once.
I remember that.
Yeah. Oh, Beetle mentions like BioWare is not BioWare now. So same kind of thing. Yeah. So they got the rights to make that game. So it must have been like maybe the negotiating rights were up with Modifius, and Renegade was like, hey, we're already working with you on this other thing. Let me slip you some fat bills under the table here.
We'll take this and not screw it up.
So there you go. The best thing is if you're a vampire or been interested in vampire or the werewolf games, that hopefully there'll be a little bit more content control on this. And, you know, so maybe not as many public relations nightmares. Hey, Philip, you know Spyfall?
There's no hotkey.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I played Spyfall.
That wasn't even the joke I had. The joke I had is when spies get out of jail temporarily, is it called a James Bond? Cryptozoic's coming out next week with a new game called Spy Fest.
Ooh.
That's it's kind of in that same type of game of like that social deduction spy game, except for this is actually a team versus team game. It's a 2-team game.
Okay.
And the way it works is one person is a spy, and they're a famous person. It doesn't say you have like a famous character or historical or fictional character. It says they got like 70 original games like Lincoln, Albert Einstein, and Zorro. And like one team or both teams are trying to guess who that person is, like by asking them questions, kind of like in Spyfall. But they can only answer as if they were that figure, but they can use keywords that their team understands, but the other team doesn't. But the other team has like the whole list of characters. So it's trying to like, how much can you egg on without giving it away so much?
God.
So it seems cool, but the fact like at this point, it's like, why is anybody releasing a 4 to 10 player game? Like,
See,
like,
like those Thanksgiving memes I was talking about.
Yeah, it's like, I get the shelf, like, and that's the other problem is the shelf life on these games is so low that by the time that we're able to play it, no one will remember this came out. Like, I know you need money, but I feel like you're going to lose money putting it out right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it's one of those, like, can you afford to just hang on until the next convention? Whenever it is?
I mean, unless you pull the Among Us.
Yeah.
We're going to call that now. We're like, oh, yeah, we made our game
2 years
3
ago.
years ago.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, why are we getting this giant check from Steam?
Yeah, they got lucky. Of course, I heard somebody talking about it where it's just like everybody's watching streams because there's nothing else to do. So it's just whatever game like this group of streamers
can stream, yeah.
That whatever they flip to next, because it's like nobody's talking about Fall Guys anymore. Like everybody was on Fall Guys, and then all the streamers went to something else. So then everybody's like, well, we're going to play with all our friends, everything else. So then it's Among Us. I feel like we're probably getting to the end of the Among Us chain.
Probably.
We're just of course, then again, now we're getting into the new consoles coming out. So
yeah,
it could be anything now. So Last bit of news we have here. What do you call an appendage that used to be for flying? An X-wing. So this is a weird one. So
Okay.
big story out of
I
FFG.
don't really like how that starts out.
Big story out of FFG. All the Star Wars minis games have been punted over to their one of their newest studios, Atomic Mass Games, is now doing all the Star Wars miniatures games like X-Wing, Armada, and Legion. They're all moving from
Alright.
Fantasy Flight Games to Atomic Mass Games. Now, this is still all Asmodee.
Yep.
But it is just kind of weird because that's been like really high value stuff for FFG. The other big news and the other reason why like I'm not sure how to take it, because like at first when I saw this, I was like, okay, that's cool. It's just like moving across the hall kind of thing. Then I found out one studio's, because I thought they were both in the same building. But no, Seattle is where Atomic Mass is. And then the second thing I found out is they actually fired some of the lead staff from like X-Wing and Legion. So it's like, don't know how to take, like, I get it on a business sense. It's like, hey, we're going to put all of our minis games like that, like our lifestyle minis games where you're just buying minis and more minis, like our Warhammer style war game, miniature war games. That's the word I'm looking for. We're going to put them all over here on this studio, which makes sense because it's headed by a bunch of people that have done that kind of stuff for years, even before they started this company. Like, it makes sense in a business deal, but just from the fact of, I just get the feeling that I posted this on Twitter. I feel like they're just strip mining FFG at this point.
Probably.
Because, like, they got rid of the customer service. They got rid of the RPGs. Now the Star Wars stuff's gone. Or the minis stuff's
The
gone.
mini stuff is gone. Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, I'm still imagining the LCGs make a decent amount of money probably, considering they churn that stuff out on a monthly basis.
What if this could be like a pull a bunch of stuff off of Fantasy Flight's table to
You know what? That could be
make
it too.
room for other stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I've honestly thought about that for the longest time because it seems like they've had trouble hitting, keeping games consistently up. Like when Legion first came out, they like when the run up to Legion, there was like no X-Wing launches or Armada launches.
Yeah.
And then like the X-Wing stuff came out, and then there was a while before all the new X-Wing or new Legion stuff came out. So if that's the reason, that does make sense. The firing, like I said, that part doesn't make sense. But what I'm hoping is like those people get picked up by Atomic Mass.
Yeah.
Like they had to.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. This did happen with the RPG department. Yeah, they fired Alex Davey. That's what Hoser 40K was just asking in the chat. Yeah, that's the. This has not been officially confirmed by FFG, but people that know people on the inside have leaked through Reddit. So take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But I mean, considering our track history, we wouldn't be surprised, right?
Oh, who was the guy who decided that 12 pounds of cardboard punch outs per game was a good idea? Did you fire that guy?
No, I think that guy's probably still there.
Okay, yeah, it's probably.
That's probably the cardboard distributor from China. That's who did. That's who.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So, I hope it's because like when the RPG stuff fired, a lot of the people did get picked up by Edge, the people that where the RPGs moved over to. Some of them did. Some of them got picked up as freelancers, and some of them didn't at all. So I'm hoping that maybe some of these leads, maybe they just get like it's a formal, hey, we got to fire you so that they can hire you kind of thing.
Oh yeah, those things. Yeah.
But I that's what the optimist in me is hoping. But the realist is saying, no, I think they were just using this as a chance to clean out some people. The other good thing is I hope that all these people that have been let go from FFG, I hope they just like make their own studio that's like
Oh, that'd be cool.
former fantasy games. Wouldn't that be funny? So there you go. That's the news. So Philip,
Fantasy flight. What would the opposite of that be?
uh,
Realistic walking.
space swim games.
There we go.
So Philip, I made you hold off a week, but you went on a vacation.
I did.
In fact, you went on a vacation with a bunch of men. You might even call it a
I got,
mancation.
We got the hell out of Dodge, and
Probably right timing too, because like if you had waited a couple of weeks, it would have been like everything shut down.
oh, and also it was starting to get ridiculously cold.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually the room that myself and one other guy were in, so the place we were in, freaking awesome, Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. All right,
That's a pretty place. I've been there.
not so much.
Well, that's because
More-
you're still like Harper's Ferry is like on
Yeah.
the border between West Virginia and Virginia.
Yeah, so I mean, still a little civilized. We were people are probably going to flip about the whole social distancing thing. We kind of were, because we wanted to go on a hike on Saturday. So we roll into Harper's Ferry. There's no parking.
Right.
There's no parking anywhere. Like all the locals, and like they have their own private parking spots and all that kind of driveways and parking lots and all that kind. There was, I mean, all the street parking was filled up. People are hiking 2 miles to their 6-mile hike. I mean, like it was.
Yeah.
We were just like, all right, there's a brewery 10 minutes away. Like, yeah, let's go get drunk. This is great. That's how we're gonna do that.
And keep in mind,
most
this is so. I don't know if I recognized all the people in the photos, but is it mostly a bunch of single guys?
Me, Jason, Mike. That was it.
Yeah. So like it's a little different than like people, you know, like if I wouldn't have gone with y'all if I had, you know, if I'd been invited. Like I wouldn't have gone because of just the potential of, you know, with my family.
Well,
but
no, I was saying like you were asking about single people. I was like, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 7 people on the trip.
gotcha.
3 of us have no.
But
3 of us
still
were
a bunch
just
of
us.
younger and healthier people.
Yeah, like a couple of them with babies on the way. Yeah, so we're out there, we're hiking, we go, and so we were like, all right, screw it. Now we went to 2 breweries up there. Both of the breweries, and I figured out why. They have these ridiculously large outdoor seating areas because they're both built on the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
And they just like overlook the valley. And
Yep.
it was kind of cool. And I keep forgetting that I don't have my camera on, so I'm over here like making all these cans.
You there?
Am I still here?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
You just suddenly dropped for a second.
Yeah, I lost my. Nope. How about now? There I am.
Hey,
No, I'm not. Hey, I'm here. Yay!
you got crackly for a second, and then it was like,
I did. I don't know what's going on with that. Like, I literally didn't touch anything.
let's blame Atlantic Broadband.
That's who we're going with. Someone's probably listening. They're like, yeah, we're going to blame you guys now. When you're a little kid, I'll give you something to cry about. Yeah. But it was just great to like just get the hell out of Dodge. Not have to worry about anything for a couple days.
Yeah, I wish. Things are just getting heated up around here because it's like holidays, and everybody's trying to figure out stuff, and we're just like, we're gonna stay home, guys.
Yep.
Y'all, if y'all want to go visit family and stuff, that's cool and all, but we're just gonna do our thing here.
In the house, like we always do.
Yeah, and we're gonna we've been testing out all these meal kits and stuff. So HelloFresh was like, or like all these like HelloFresh and all these other ones are like, hey, you want to try our Thanksgiving feast? And we're like, sure.
Yes. You're gonna have like 6 turkeys show up, aren't you?
That was the thing, is it was like one of them, it was like $100 for like the Thanksgiving feast. And I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, yeah, that's for like 6 to 10 people. I'm like, okay, can we get like the 4 to 6 option? Like, I want a little bit of buffer, but
Yeah.
because that's the problem. We just don't eat leftovers that much because it goes in the fridge and just disappears.
No.
Like when food goes in the fridge, we just forget it's there until like a month later. And we're like, dang it, I was going to eat that.
I was gonna eat that 2 days after we made it.
Yeah.
30 days ago.
So did you take any board games with you?
Yeah, so about that. I laid a bunch of small games out next to my suitcase. And then put my suitcase in the car and went and got loaded up and we left.
Oh, you didn't even bring your little small games that you like keep in your car at all times?
Nope. Cause I was adult about a year ago and cleaned my car out. I had them ready though. They were ready to go.
Oh man. So did you guys do anything else? Or was it
So
pretty
hiked
much just
2
drinking
breweries.
the whole time?
No, not the whole time. Sometimes we were asleep.
What about movies? Watch any movies?
We watched we watched episode 1 and 2 or excuse me, chapters 9 and 10 of The Mandalorian.
Oh yes, we're all caught up now too, because 11 came out.
Yep. And then we watched Pacific Rim. A couple of us are doing that. A lot of times they're like they were trying to get people to like sit around the fire and stuff, and I was like, but we have a hot tub.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. They said it was a 7-person hot tub. I don't think they accounted for the fact that when you put a couple of us in there, some of us had like an extra person and a half total when we sat in the hot tub.
It's like
So
like you ever look at the tents when they say like a 4 to 6 person tent, that's like a 2-person tent.
yeah, I mean, because
And
like how
it's
are they
like four
expected-
it's like 4 people stacked on top of each other maybe.
or head to toe next to each other.
Yeah.
Packed in there like sardines.
Yeah, that's what when we used to camp, we used to whatever the tent, like when you'd buy a tent, whatever it said the number of people, you always have that number.
Oh, exactly.
Beatles talking about he watched the Lego Star Wars holiday special.
Yes.
I keep seeing stuff for it, but I've not seen it yet.
Chris and Mike were talking about that. We were like, oh, hey, guys, we playing Deep Rock Galactic tonight? He's like, I'm watching the Lego Star Wars holiday special. I'll be on when it's done.
Where do you watch that? I'm assuming Disney. Disney Plus.
Probably Disney. Yeah, that would be my bet.
My
You know,
free
I
year
think
at Disney Plus ran out
Oh,
because Verizon had that deal where if you had unlimited internet with them, you got Disney Plus for a year.
yeah.
And it was just like, hey, we're just gonna let you know we're gonna start charging you now for Disney Plus. And it was like, oh,
It's
another
like, yeah, about that.
another thing I got to pay for now. Service.
Well, get the do the $15 Hulu one.
Oh yeah.
Just link all 3 of them together. Then you get ESPN. You can watch sports.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's right, man. You can talk about the old sports ball next time you're in the office.
Ah, sports ball. And did you see when the orc and the
April,
troll,
probably.
they were like,
Next time you're in the office talking with the guys around the water cooler in,
2025.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Our office is like, maybe we don't need to be in the office that much. Even when even when we can be in the office, maybe we'll just work from home still.
Right?
Hey, I'm, a lot of I remember reading stories. There's like whole companies that are like, maybe we don't need to have an actual office anymore.
My my uncle's company, they he was talking about the way they're supporting all the workers through this whole business. He like he can requisition anything he needs and just like roll up to the building, someone will walk it out to him.
Nice.
He was like, "Yeah, I need a new mouse. Hey, I need a new fancy ergonomic chair. Hey, I need a new monitor." And they were just like, "Yeah, come by 3:00. It'll be ready for you."
Nice. Yeah, Beatles talking about they don't have Disney Plus because they're waiting for all the Mandalorian episodes to come out and then like join for a month and binge them. It was too hard. Like we were 3 episodes behind. I'm like, Ashley, I'm starting to see spoilers on TikTok. All right.
Have you seen the out of context spoilers?
Maybe, I don't know.
Someone did like a chapter 11 out of context spoilers, and it's just, I don't know, it's like 12 pictures, and one of them is a pair of frogs hugging.
Did you see somebody made that frog species into I posted
yeah,
it
you put
in
that in the thing. Yeah.
They made that into the Star Wars RPG. It's just called Frog, but it's like PH. It's like PHOGG. So, I've been trying to play games. I did like the before our last. Yeah, I was hoping to actually have a review this episode, but I've been playing a little bit of a lot of things and nothing enough to play to review.
Nothing enough to have opinions on it.
Yeah, like I got some more plays in of the Silver Bullet game that I've tried, but I want to get Ashley and Chloe to try that before I do a review of that, because I want to see what they think of it compared to Cabo. And then I did the Arkham Horror 3rd Edition stream before last week's show, and that was an endeavor. It was like a 3-hour-long game, not including setup.
Jeez.
Like it took me like I started like 8:00 the night before, and it took me an hour to set up the game, and then like the 1 or 2 people that watch it like, it's like 9:00 now, I gotta go to bed. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep this. Was like the day before Veterans Day.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, I'll just stream again tomorrow with the actual gameplay, and I did. And then that was like a 3-hour ordeal, just because I was playing characters that were not necessarily optimized for the scenario, but because I was playing the new what's it called, Underdark Waves,
okay,
expansion, which is all like the Innsmouth themed stuff, where it's like water. It's like a bunch of water based type adventures where you have like a lot of deep ones, and I don't know if you've ever heard of Dagon. It's like this like ancient, or it's this like great old fish god looking thing, like fish person, and
isn't that Raven's Den? No, Trigon is Raven's
Trigon.
Den.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So started playing that, and I realized that like the setup took forever because none of my stuff was organized. So I'm like, what about this card deck? Nope, that's not what I need. I need this card. Nope, that's not what I need. And so like trying to move stuff around. So played that. That was an ordeal. I don't know if I'd play that on stream again because it was just so long. And then tried playing. So we decided to start playing Arkham Horror, the card game, again. And I was like, hey, I've got this Vorpal board thing. I'd like to at least try it. I don't know if it's gonna work with Arkham. So like the like couple hours before, I legit scanned in like 200 cards.
Jeez.
But that game is not, or the Vorpal board's not necessarily designed for that game, because it definitely started bogging down a little bit with that many image files loaded in.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
It would have been better had I just scanned in the player decks and then had the camera down for all the location cards. But I still need a better second device for the camera so that I can keep my phone for scanning in cards. So I didn't have that. So we just kind of gave up, and then like I basically reset up the board that we had it set up in Tabletop Simulator, and we just continued the game the other night, playing the Carnival of Horrors, which was pretty interesting. It's like one of the first. You remember that Curse of the Rougarou adventure that we did? The werewolf one. I think it was the big like 2-3 hour one that we did.
Vaguely.
It was the only time we played with Cindy, Arkham Horror.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm there.
Yeah. It was around the same time that came out. They also came out with this standalone one that's a Carnival of Horrors. That's a big carnival one, which it's weird because it has like all the locations are in a circle, and you can only move to the next cart in the path. Like you can't backtrack at all.
Okay.
So, and you're trying to like find all these. You're trying to find all these innocent, basically people, but like half the people are masked baddies, and so you're trying to like gather them up before this like big tentacle squid thing destroys the entire carnival. So like the end of the scene is you like pedaling off down this canal, like dragging this big huge squid thing after you, and the last task you have to do is you have to do so many of these physical or agility based skills that's you rolling, and once you get enough counters, that's you considered succeeded. But we looked at that task, and then we looked at its health, and it was like it's like the same number of tasks to kill it, and we've got like skills and cards and stuff we can use to kill it versus only being able to do these 2 tasks. So we're like, why don't we just kill it? Like, sure, it's got 28 health, but so
That's my character's answer to most things. Always kill it.
So there you go. In the chat room, Hoser at 40K asked me if I'd tried out Ant-Man yet. No, I have not. I am so far behind on Marvel Champions because I've just not been in the mood to play solo, and I haven't played
Marvel Champions? What?
I haven't played any games with my dad, so I still haven't played I still haven't played Red Skull. I still haven't played I've only done like 1 or 2 games with Hulk. So like I've got to work. I've got a lot to do, and to get caught up on the blog. I tried doing a solo game because I hadn't played. I have a solo game series I do on my blog where I test each hero using the solo Rhino scenario. And I tried playing Doctor Strange on there, who's usually OP, but the cards didn't come out in my way, and I got wiped the floor with.
Because you didn't believe in the heart of the cards.
I didn't believe in the heart of cards. And then, so I got to redo that with Strange, and then I got to go Hulk, and then, I got Hawkeye and Spider-Woman from the Rise of the Red Skull before I even get to Ant-Man yet. And then Beetle says, played the Hellboy board game last weekend and one of the Adventures Escape games, which they recommend, which I still have somewhere. Oh, there they are. They're down there from when Colin and Cindy played them. The exit games that could be reused, basically.
That's right.
So, with that, let's transition into our segment for this scenario. One thing I decided is when it's just the 2 of us that playing the game show isn't as rewarding. There you go. That's the word. So we're gonna do. I want to create more content for both the Slack and the Facebook discussion group, and encourage more people to join both of those. So what I did is I threw out today. I'll give more. I'll give more of a notice next time. But just kind of like, hey, ask us some questions, some random questions. I think next time it might be if we see a really big thread that's happening, like a big discussion that's going on, maybe we'll talk about it. So I want to do that. So this is like the community involvement section when it's just the 2 of us. I paused, waiting to see if he would sing it. Beetle says we need to make the game Stump the Beard, where we ask each other trivia. But before we get to that community section, I just want to plug the Patreon again. Patreon.com/boardsandswords. I'm still working on, it's only been a week, so I haven't gotten any further yet on the Tangled in the Slipstream first episode. That'll be coming out this month, though. I do promise that it is coming out this month. But in the meantime, the other benefits you get by joining is I've been taking the pre and post shows, whenever we cut like the streams on and off, the bits that we have before and after, I've been putting those together and making it like a separate bonus episode type thing that you're only going to get. That only goes on the Patreon feed. So if you're not a patron, you don't get that info or you don't get that extra bonus content, random goofiness at all. But all you got to do is be $1, Philip. Dollar gets you all to that.
$1.
Yep.
Dollar makes us holler.
Yep. You also get you get access to the Slack, but the Slack is open basically now for anybody, but there's special channels in there only for patrons. You also get, if you're higher up, there's the dice package that we're hoping to get more people to the point where we could eventually do like the random goodie bags that'll give out through the year. So you're not going to get any of that if you don't go back us over at patreon.com/boards and swords. And with that, Philip, it's time for some questions. You got your hard hat, or you got your thinking hat on?
I think I ran it over with a truck.
Okay. Beetle gave us a whole bunch of these.
I saw that.
So, first of all, how does having a required app for a game influence your decision to play it or to buy it? He's talking about like Mansions of Madness, where you have to have an app to run the game. What if the app was a nice add-on, but not a requirement, like the Cosmos exit apps, where it's flavor instead? I honestly don't care. Like, to me, I almost would seek out those kind of games. Like, it means more to me that way because you can almost do more with an app-based game. Like, I'm not one of the people that's got to be like, it's my board game. I can't have video games in my board game.
No, I 100% want video games in my board games.
Especially like games like Mansions, where it means like we can play as a group and the game can just tell us how to move stuff around.
Yes.
You know? Because I've become a big fan of like connected or I become a big fan more of cooperative games versus competitive. So games that allow to have an app so that I can play them more cooperatively, I'm all for it. This one I had to have him reworded because I didn't understand what he meant at first. He said, what do you see as the current slate of crossover games? Basically, he's asking like your intro or your starter games that's getting people into the hobby. Like, you started off with like, it used to be Ticket to Ride or Catan. Could be from mass market to designer games, or from board games to mini games, or party games to other games. So like, what do you think of he said current slate.
Current slate. Okay.
I feel like there's so many now that
yeah, I mean, there's so that everyone's coming out. Well, not only I mean, we can call them like the gateway drug of board games.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think they call them gateway games.
Yeah, so I mean, there's also so many games. So well, take X-Wing for instance.
Yeah.
Starter set. All you needed was to buy a starter set, you and a buddy, and you can
have a
figure
game.
out you can have a game. I mean, there were a couple scenarios that involved the whole starter set.
Yeah.
But then it was like, if you want more, here's our $10 million worth of other things you can buy.
I think the only problem I have now with like the way games are set up is most of these types of games are your target games, because that's where like people not in the hobby, that's where they're going to get exposed to it.
Yeah.
And the problem is there's such a glut of those types of games, and there's no content filtering. Like Target's just, hey, you got the money, we'll put you on the shelves. So like there was one, and it's a really funny review. I haven't watched a Dice Tower review in a while, but this one was great. So they made a Heinz party pack of board games to where it's like a ketchup bottle that has dice. So it's like a Heinz ketchup dice game, and then like a Kraft mac and cheese tile game thing, and then a Jello jiggler dice game as well. And like the Heinz one looks like a bottle of ketchup. The macaroni one looks like a box of macaroni and cheese. And so you see it like that's kind of quirky. and apparently they're terrible games. Like they're all just terrible. And like the review is hilarious and how funny or how badly he just rips these games to shreds. But that's what I'm afraid of is you get stuff like that and people are trying to like, oh, what's this? I like macaroni and cheese. And like, this is terrible. I'm not spending $50 on a board game when this is what I'm playing,
Yeah.
When it's
I can see that.
I'm not paying $50 for Gloomhaven when this other game that I saw was trash. But if you look at Target, there's so many of those type, like the SNL game and like when it started out, yes, it was like when the Target shelf first started, it was Catan and Ticket to Ride, and then like Azul came in. But then it was just like, we're going to open the doors and it's going to be like everything. And it's like, maybe we need a little bit more gatekeeping on that.
I would agree with you, yeah.
Curation, that's the word I'm looking for.
There we go. Yeah, you gotta call the herd
just a little bit. So, he asks about Kickstarter has reached a gaming saturation point. It was once a boom for games, but has that product cycle hit maturity or decline? Is it still a relevant platform, or is the next thing to come along already here? I think it's still fine.
Yeah, my wallet would say that it's very relevant.
In fact, I feel like Kickstarter is more relevant these days than it is any other time.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing with Kickstarter is it lets companies know exactly how many to print. They know this many people have backed the game, so I at least need this many. It's not like if Fantasy Flight makes a game and they go and print, or not say Fantasy Flight, but let's say like a tier below, like even say Cephalofair or Leader Games, the people that make Root or even Gloomhaven. It's like, we have this new game. It could be a hit or it could not be. I don't know how many to print. So I'll print 5,000 and it sells out and then nobody can get it. Or maybe I'll print 10,000 and then nobody buys it and they just sit around. And in this day, and then especially in 2020, when money's tight, that could make or break a company.
Yep.
So, and Beetle says, but that's thinking about Kickstarter as a pre-order system. Yeah, but that's a lot of I know that companies like Simon abuse it, but for all these small companies, they can't afford for it not to be.
Yeah.
Like when you've got a small company, they can't afford to take the risk to hit and miss. So you're still supporting, yes, maybe Kickstarter says they're not a pre-order system. They kind of are. But at the same time, like he brings up like Omari,
He brings up Omari, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what it does is it helps level the playing field. I feel like what it does. Yes, you've got your mega hit Kickstarters, but you've also got like you said, people like Omari. It makes the entry the barrier to entry. That's what I'm trying to say. It makes the barrier to entry so much lower because it's so much easier to help find an audience, or for people like Omari, they can put the effort into building the game, but they don't have to put in the additional income to, getting the bank loans or whatever to publish the game and then have nobody buy it because they haven't generated an audience. Whereas now they can build the audience, get the money, and then it'd be like, people want this, they want to support this, and then now we'll get the game published. Did any of that make sense?
It did to me.
Okay. What should he have for lunch?
Well, I don't know. Tomorrow, I'm having bachelor chow. I would not recommend it.
2021 conventions, what's likely to change? What do you want to see change? Is it feasible to try and fit in 70,000 people into a hotel next year for Gen Con? Or will it be a year to take off for companies to develop a better online presence? I don't know. I feel like that's too much up in the air.
That is too much up in the air. I do say I will put out there that I feel that Gen Con should also, like, concurrent with Gen Con, they should run Gen Con online.
Yeah. I do feel that's, and we went into some of that last time. I feel having a scaled back might be a good idea. I don't know how that would work because like tickets would sell out. How do you get as many companies there? You know, is it that, does that even make it profitable? I feel like smaller conventions would be the way to start. Like things like local conventions, when people start getting the vaccine around and that sort of stuff starts happening. I feel like smaller conventions, local conventions, publisher specific conventions might be a good idea.
Because I mean, like CMON Expo's down in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Who's Asmodee? Didn't Asmodee have something?
Well, Fantasy Flight does some events, like they'll have their tournaments and they'll have like their Arkham Knights kind of stuff.
What was the one Colin and Cindy always went to?
That was the Dice Tower Con.
Dice Tower Con. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a couple, like Renegade had their online one, the Renegade Con earlier in the year, and I think they even had like a second one later. They could do that. He mentions
Did they ever get their stream in order?
You're thinking of FFG.
Oh, I am thinking of FFG, aren't I?
He says he don't want Gen Con to become something like E3. I think
where they kick out all the
I think there's a difference there. Like Gen Con's never not going to be the big huge ordeal. The idea of having the online stuff is just give people that can't afford or don't have the ability to do those streams, to be able to see those streams at home, and people to run the events, because the Gen Con event system is a great system for finding events. So just taking that and applying it online, it's not the same experience, and that's the big difference. The other big difference is E3 is a press event, and Gen Con is like started out as a convention. It has press events in it at the same time. So that would be like, E3 would be more like the Gamma trade show. Those are the comparisons there. Where like E3 was always made as a trade show that just enough people started watching it and started going to it that it became much more, and then they scaled back to being more of a trade show thing. So that's the difference there. I don't think you're going to run into that with Gen Con.
I actually remember the year they kicked out all the like non-industry people, because that was when G4 was still a TV channel. And a couple of like Attack of the Show and X-Play, they were like, yeah, we get to go. It's a lot quieter this year. A lot less people walking around.
Roger asks, how do you decide when you replace an old version 1 with a new version 2 with updates game? How do I decide? A, how much money have I spent on it? B, how much money is it going to spend to get the new version to convert? B, how much of the stuff I have is going to carry over with that conversion? And C, what does it look like? Because for me, that matters. If it looks a lot prettier, it's getting bought.
Yep. Actually, yeah, that's. I mean, because a lot of the X-Wing stuff, when they went to what did they call it? Did they call it like
second edition? They just called it second edition.
I mean, because like a lot of
it also depends on how much I'm playing said game.
That one too, yeah. Like
because like you didn't get second edition.
I got nothing.
Yeah,
no.
But we also
like we stopped playing.
Yeah, exactly. Which I wouldn't mind playing again, but
I wouldn't either. Actually, no. We need to break out and play Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, but I'm just not a big Battlestar Galactica fan.
Well, you're wrong.
I mean, it was.
Did you not see her?
Yeah, I know.
There we go.
But what was she in? Star Wars.
Okay, but crossover.
Oh man, some people. I've been seeing pictures on Instagram of people making custom Mandalorian, Star Wars Legion, and painting them up like all the like the Mandalorians.
Oh, nice.
It's so good. Do you buy then purge to fit, or do you keep a steady purge going? And do you give away games to non-gamers as a part of purging more than the desire to get them played? I think we did a whole episode on that, talking about purging games.
Yeah.
But no, more often than that is I purge just to it used to be I would purge to get some extra coin for conventions. So I would sell things that I thought that I wasn't playing and that I thought I could get some coin to help spending for new games. So I guess I would purge before buying. And I give away games to non-gamers if I think it's a good fit for them. Like if someone's a big like I don't know. I don't know an example off the top of my head, but I feel like in the past I've given away thematic games to people that like that genre, you know. And I don't think Philip's ever given away a game because he only has like a handful.
I have 2 handfuls now.
Oh, okay. Jordan wants to know, what is your favorite version of Munchkin and what is your favorite Munchkin expansion? I think I know the answer to this.
So Conan Munchkin.
Yep, there you go.
Really specifically just for the Barbarian.
The Barbarian
card. It's a cheat. I can do what I want because I'm a barbarian, and what are you going to do about it?
I don't know if you've played too many of the expansions.
I have.
You've just played a lot of the base sets.
I played a lot of the base sets. I mean, you gave me some packs that like we've integrated into the decks,
but
that's
so
about
much
it.
that it's hard to remember what's what.
Yeah, I mean, like there's a Christmas pack hidden in the deck somewhere, I think. Yeah, I mean, like so it's really all Munchkin. Oh, Munchkin, what, Space Munchkin?
The Star Munchkin?
Star Munchkin. Yeah. With the Banana Fana Faux
Oh,
Freezer.
yeah. That's a separate base set, though.
You can just keep adding that on.
Phaser, Taser, Bobazer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you mentioned in the one episode your favorite games to play together was Arcadia Quest. What are some other games to play together? That's a good one. Because most of the time it's whatever review game we still have on the pile.
Yeah.
We did play a lot of X-Wing. We used to play a lot of it was like me, you, and
X-Wing.
Jeremy who we played a ton of X-Wing.
That was like every Wednesday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. That was like peak 2013. We were just every week playing X-Wing. Trying to think of like other games we've consistently played on a regular basis. I gotta like.
We've done a lot of review of the pop figures.
Yeah, not that much. There's only been like
yeah.
a handful of games.
Yeah.
I mean, in the before days, it was a lot of Munchkin.
It was. I mean, that was our game.
Till one of us got smart.
We're still trying to figure out which one of us that was.
Oh, now I'm trying to look and see. I'm looking. Blood Rage. We've played a lot of Blood Rage.
Oh, we have played a lot of Blood Rage.
Yeah.
We should find a time to test and see if the digital version.
I doubt it.
works
I have not heard any updates on that.
Okay. What's the
And
other game we tried to play?
it's funny because every time they talk about it on their Facebook page, I respond and be like, hey, we've got new DLC. I'm like, hey, why don't you fix the game?
Maybe that is the DLC.
Yeah.
The actual patch to make the game work.
Yeah.
It's gonna cost you $12.99.
Yeah, we got a bunch of games that we need to play.
Scythe.
We have played a lot of Scythe, but we've played more digital
Played a lot of
Scythe, I think, than we've played physical board game Scythe.
You've played more physical board game Scythe.
Well, I know, but I meant like together. I feel like we've played
together.
the app together more than we've played the
Yeah.
physical board game together. Or it may be actually split 50-50.
I want to say it's split, yeah.
That's right, because you did jump in a couple of the when we did the campaign stuff.
When you did the campaign, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a couple of those. I was like, okay, I gotta go to work. Okay, I'm back.
And
You guys are
then,
still playing.
all right, last one here. What movie? So this one is from Daniel Chadwick. What movie could you see being turned into a good board game? What mechanics would work well with, or would work with that movie game genre? Sorry, I'm having trouble reading. For example, Die Hard would be a good one versus many. A good one versus many secret deduction game or fantastic dexterity game where you have to crawl through a shiny tunnel and then walk on broken glass and then drive a cop car backwards while eating a Twinkie. Fun for the whole family. I do agree about the Die Hard one, but now I got to think of a different one. A good movie turned into a
Ferris
good board
Bueller's
game.
Day Off.
What? Ferris Bueller's Day
Ferris
Off?
Bueller's Day Off.
What would that be?
It would be a. Oh, let's
Oh,
see.
it could be one of those one versus many like secret hidden movement games. I'm trying to think if you've.
I was gonna say.
I'm trying to think if you've played one.
a hidden movement game.
I don't know if you've played a hidden movement game because the way a hidden movement game is like people make notes on there's a copy of, or there's the board, and then the people hiding have a copy of the board on like a scratch pad where they mark where they go, and the other players are trying to find like the one person, like using clues and stuff. But I feel like usually it's a bunch of people trying to find the one guy, but I feel like you could flip it for Ferris Bueller and have the one guy be the principal.
Yeah.
And trying to find all the, like Cameron and Ferris and
Cameron Ferris and
I can't remember her name.
The pretty girl.
Yeah. Yeah, that could work. I'm trying to think of myself. Because games, my favorite like superhero movies have already been done. Firefly was done. Like Serenity was done. Back to the Future's been made a couple of different times into games. So trying to think of my favorite movies. Dark City. Every round you get shuffled around. You shuffle another character with different abilities. One person plays the strangers, and the rest play people in the town trying to defeat the strangers. Oh, I think, is that a game? Are you saying that's a game that basically does what we're talking about? So, other movies. What other movies do I like? I feel like you could probably make a funny Super Troopers game.
Yes.
Oh, Dark City's a movie. Okay. Like just think like if Restoration Games took Mousetrap and made it into like a good game.
Oh.
But like Super Troopers themed, where it's just like stuff going wrong like the whole time.
Open bar, dude.
All right. And that's all. I think I got all the questions, but that was a decent amount, at least for this time.
That was.
So if you have other topics or questions you'd like to see us answer, feedback@boardsandswords.com. Go ahead and send them to us. Or like I said, join the Facebook, the Boards and Swords community page. I'll start a thread in there close to the next episode. But I think that's all I got. Philip, you got anything else?
Nope. That's going to wrap up this week's episode. If you want to watch the show live, we mostly record every other Wednesday. boardsandswords.com/live. It's got the schedule. It's got the links to all the live streaming channels. You got to come check us out. And if you really enjoy this show, you are going to love our live play podcast, The Dirtbags of Holding. That's where we take all these amazing RPGs that are out there and we play them for your listening pleasure.
All right. Like I said, feedback@boardsandswords.com is where you can email us comments and questions. We're also on social media. Facebook.com/boardsandswordspod is our official Facebook page. It's also got the link to the community page, or to the community group if you use Facebook groups. So you can join in on there. I think I'm going to make a URL that's boardsandswords.com/Slack. That'll get you invited into the Slack. But also, you can find us on Twitter. I'm at Boards and Swords on Twitter, and on Instagram, you can find me at Board Swords Chris. I gotta fix that.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter as Bill Dirtbag.
Lastly, this podcast is a part of Punchboard Media. For other great gaming podcasts, make sure you check out punchboardmedia.com and check out Punchboard Parade. It's a video show that I host where we get a bunch of clips of different creators making different stuff, talking about different types of questions and such. Once again, check out patreon.com/boards and swords for more content and to support the show. And we'll be back in 2 weeks with another show. In the meantime, remember that every gamer has a story, and my story is that maybe for Thanksgiving I can keep everybody at home and play board games for once.
Got him!
Yeah, I know. Ha, it's fixed.
What's fixed?
I fixed the title or my Instagram name. Hey, I do TikTok now too.
On purpose?
Yeah, I started doing board game dad jokes on TikTok.
Oh, I do remember you talking about that. Yeah.
And also Instagram Reels and stuff.
And hey, do you see Twitter has stories now,
Yeah,
just like Instagram?
I it's one of those like, now I got to figure out something else. Like, can't we just leave it with?
I'm fairly certain it's just like Instagram story.
I know, but I'm saying like, I'm figuring out like on Instagram I can make stuff and put it on stories, but like Twitter's where I go when I don't want to have to put stuff on stories for people to follow me. You know? So it's like what